They had to redo a bunch of it, so there's different squares that are all cut out and put
For the
back in now.
cemetery, it really needs to be.
All right, the August 17th Middlebury Town Council meeting will be called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One day we'll take.
Kent Kaufman,
Here.
Mike Holloway,
Here.
Gary Kripe,
Here.
Carl Miller,
Here.
and Kevin Miller.
Here. All right, we have the minutes for the August 3rd meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the August 3rd, 2026 meeting as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this time we'll open the floor for public comments.
Do I need to move this?
You might have to bring it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
It
might
won't
have
pick
to.
it up.
Okay, okay, I don't want it to,
Oh,
I don't want it to do that.
Oh,
Okay, got it.
There you go.
you got it.
I'm going to hold it and then move it back up.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, good evening, council. My name is Cindy Hychek and I'm from Goshen. Recently, Pam Kaiser requested copies of oaths of office for all 5 board members, and as the end of June, none of those 5 oaths provided were fully in compliance, and the reasons were discussed at the last meeting. We're not going to go into that tonight. But recently, I also requested the oaths of office for the Town of Bristol Council. And for the record, all 5 of their oaths are valid and they're on file at the clerk's office. So they face the same circumstances as the town of Middlebury did, and yet they were able to fulfill their oath of office. So all of their legal requirements. Now, most of you had a partial or incomplete oath documents, and this is, I'd like to make this clear. That means it's an administrative failure. It's not a moral failure. It's an administrative failure. But it's administrative failure with legal repercussions. And when someone brings something like that, and it would be, it should just be, oh, we just have to fix this. Let's start there. Let's get it in line, and let's fix it. Instead, she is still having to try to extract, where are we on this? Are there going to be oaths, et cetera? We didn't see it on the agenda, and as of this afternoon, she hadn't received any kind of communication. So there is that. Pam raised those questions, yeah, and she hasn't gotten those answers. Now, the last thing that I have to add, very simple, is none of this is punitive and it's not personal. We're simply going through, if there's an anomaly, if there's something that needs to be dealt with, especially when it comes to just very simple execution of the law, that needs to be brought up to date so that everybody that takes an oath of office is meeting the same standard. There aren't double standards from one oath taker to another. Everybody's the same. So that's all that I had for tonight. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to. I welcome it.
If you want to stay there for just a moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Great.
Yeah. I did look into it, and I looked at Pam Kaiser's her APRA request that she sent to the
Yes.
clerk's office, and what they provided her were oaths for Carl, Gary Kripe, Kent Kaufman, and those are all copies of their timely taken oaths. They're all dated within the proper statutory time periods, and they're all taken by proper officials. So all those oaths were properly taken and are proper oaths.
Okay. What they lacked was a file stamp and filed at the clerk's
And
office.
that is not a legal requirement, and that's not necessarily something that the clerk's office has done in the past. As you may know, the original clerk, or not the original, but the prior clerk, Chris,
I understand.
I don't know that he file stamped anything when they were received. The one that was file stamped was done by the new clerk. A number of the oaths that were produced and timely taken were taken by the prior clerk. So
Okay.
he had the copies.
Okay.
He took the oaths for those ones.
Okay.
Um,
And you're saying that a copy of an oath does not have to be filed with the county clerk?
no, I'm saying that the little stamp doesn't necessarily is not required and doesn't
Okay.
necessarily
Okay, it's
mean
the
anything in
stamp,
particular.
but it does have to be filed with the county clerk.
Correct. It does need to be deposited with the clerk.
Right.
And so for, let me pull up my notes here.
So those three.
So Gary's, for
Okay.
example, was taken by Chris, taken by the clerk, but that wasn't file stamped. But the clerk obviously had it because he
But-
took the oath.
Right, but does Patty have a copy of it right now?
She does now. If
She
they
does.
did, but by all intents and understanding of the council, they had it when they took it because the clerk was the one who took the oath.
Okay,
If that makes sense.
okay,
They just didn't have the copies or couldn't locate them in their records at the time, is my understanding. But that's not a filing issue, that's a records management issue. So we can take all the steps we need on our end, which we believe after looking into it, we have. We have documentation that people took the oaths and that they were, at least in the ones that were taken by Chris himself, that obviously that was filed. And then the other ones that were maybe taken by Miranda, I think, took some, the prior town council president. We mailed those in, but we can't otherwise document that they kept the copies. They could have received them and then lost them or shredded them, or maybe they just misplaced them because the clerk's office did move. And I know things may have gotten shuffled around.
okay, so
So
that took care
from
of
our perspective,
three
as
of 'em?
town council,
okay.
we performed every statutory obligation when it came to those oaths. We took the oaths and we filed them or submitted them in the mail to be filed. Could have got lost in the mail. But once we deposited them, we're done as far as the town's requirements are concerned,
Okay,
if that's helpful.
and there were five, and one of the oaths were taken like 2.5 years late.
Yeah, one of them was Carl's. That was a
Okay.
replacement oath.
Okay,
Because we do have minutes, for example, for Carl, that at that meeting, that he took the oath.
okay,
And it's just, they weren't able to provide it or find it for that APRA request. And so he went in and provided a replacement oath.
okay,
And we've done the same for Mike as well. So they all have oaths on file now, whether they be copies of the original oaths that were refiled or replacement oaths because the other ones couldn't be located. But that's all in the clerk.
okay.
with
And
the
I,
clerk now.
again, I'm going off of memory.
Mhm.
I thought one or more of the oaths were lacking a seal.
So that might have been a confusion with who took the oath. The ones that were lacking the seal, I think she's referring to the bottom portion.
The
And
person
that,
administrating the oath
correct.
has a seal.
That's just by nature of the forms here. For example, the oath of office form, it has at the bottom of it, it has if the person administering the oath is a notary public, they need to fill it out. But the ones that were taken by Chris, the former clerk, he doesn't need to fill that out because the clerk of court is specifically authorized under statute to be able to take oaths. And he's not necessarily a notary public.
Okay,
So he's still a proper person to take that oath.
sure.
And in that case, that portion of the form doesn't need to be filled out.
So that
So
would
I think
include
that was
if,
where some confusion
are you-
was.
so you're saying if Chris administered the oath, then he does not have to put a
Correct.
seal on it?
He doesn't need to fill out the part at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going back to there were some one or more seals lacking on the oaths.
Well, I mean, I don't know that. I'm not sure what she means by that then. If she means that portion of I took that to mean the portion of the form that was at the bottom of the form to be filled out by a notary.
I looked at the statute. I think the statute, it has to be, there's a seal. Every office has a seal.
Mhm.
And that seal, not the writing, just the seal itself was lacking. It says it was incomplete.
You go from the notary.
Yeah, the notary, there were some that were notarized, but there were some that didn't have the office seal. So
Okay.
what would be the next step to just clarify so that we don't have to go through a 30-day APRA? It's just,
Mhm.
does the county clerk have 5 oaths? Are they signed? Are they sealed and filed? And you're saying yes, or there's a question?
I mean, I can check with them to make sure they have them. the ones that we refiled.
Okay, because we
And
have,
then I can,
because we have copies, and if those are
Mhm.
the copies that are resubmitted and filed, those were still lacking, except for Chris Anderson wouldn't have to fill that in.
Right.
So,
and it's possible on some of these, some seals are imprint seals, for example,
mhm,
that don't show up when they're scanned in.
okay,
They just imprint on the paper.
okay.
And so maybe those copies wouldn't really show it well. I can maybe look into
Okay.
that part of it.
So
to
how
see if
do-
there's a seal there.
Is there a way that we can communicate and just clear it up once and one final, is it there, can we do an email or from you and just validate? That'd be great. That way there isn't any questions to all the law being fulfilled. Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other comments? All righty, expense vouchers.
I'll make a motion that we approve for disbursement the expense vouchers as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unfinished business, award the contract for US 20 from County Road 35 to State Road 13.
So we have Emily Waymeyer here. If you have specific questions that she can help, try to answer those.
Good evening.
You're from,
Oh, I'm sorry, Emily Waymeyer. I live in Carmel, Indiana.
No,
Oh,
come on.
Donahue and Associates.
represent, okay, thank you, thank you.
When you're coming like this to present, we
Yeah.
don't care where you live. Right?
Thank you, though.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. So I think one of our biggest questions, if I'm considering the right thing, was the difference in, am I looking at the right one?
Yes.
For the difference in the quotes
Yes,
and how big they were.
yes,
So we have, or I have change order fatigue.
yes.
Okay, so we tend to get projects, we award them based on the recommendations and, you know, and then it's change order, change order. Well, we missed that, we missed that, we missed that. And what has at least me a little nervous is that we have this large gap between them, even though the Selge, the lowest one, was very close to the recommendation or what, you know, the estimation was.
Yes,
That large gap worries me that with change orders, it'll keep creeping up to what was originally bid in the second and third lowest bids.
yes. So Selge does have an advantage when bidding this because they are already here working on Orpha Drive. And they plan to keep all those crews and equipment here to start working on this. So that's some of the difference
Okay,
that can save. Also looking through here, the Selge numbers were a lot, well, like you said, it's a lot closer to our estimate. They're used to what we're seeing more. Looking through here, it looked like some of the other contractors might have just picked some numbers very high. I will tell you that Selge asked the most questions and was in communication during bidding. Most with us, they all had some questions, but we were on the phone every other day, where I got an email or two from the other ones.
Okay.
I think they know the most about it. I'm very comfortable with Selge
okay.
getting this and this price. Okay,
I want to add one other thing too that just occurred this past week. Selge called and asked where they could store the millings from Orpha Drive so that way they could use them on US 20 to temporarily put back drives and stuff as they're constructing. So like they're reusing materials, you know, from another project. So a lot of that cuts down on cost too.
Okay,
the one area that I will say that Selge took a chance on is this W16 and the associated one with the sewer, where we allowed, if the soils test right, they can use those to backfill. Well, Selge just assumed they could do that, but we will require testing to make sure they can do that. And that will not be a change order if they cannot.
okay.
You know, like, that was written very
Hey,
clearly.
there's one down.
Right,
Yeah.
be-
Yeah.
yeah, because it's $18. How can it be that
Yeah,
that low.
yeah, yeah. No, they're assuming they won't need any of that. That's
Same
why
with the
it's that low.
topsoil, which is W27.
Yeah,
They're-
topsoil, I would say that they're trying to reuse that as well. But one of the other ones was very high on the lift station part of it. What Selge should bid, what our estimate was, is what we've seen on the other two recent ones. So more comfortable on that too.
What if they're not able to reuse like the topsoil and such?
If that's on, that's
That's their nickel?
That's on
their
them?
nickel. Yeah.
Okay,
And Councilman Kaufman, you pointed out the maintaining traffic was a significant.
right, that was also a significant
W
difference.
64
Yeah.
was
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
significantly.
I agree that that's a significant difference. Again, they will be held to that price for maintaining traffic. They put that money somewhere else in there. We were very clear on that too. If in what's on our plans, they have got to stick to that.
Okay.
Yeah. And just driving by Orpha Drive, I'm very impressed with their traffic control already there in the closing Orpha and what they have on US 20 and on State Route 13. So
They should teach the guys on 131 in Michigan.
I'll let them know.
Because it's cool.
Yeah.
We're meeting with them in the morning.
Because I got to drive every day there. It drives me crazy. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for
thank
answering
you.
those
Thank you,
questions.
Emily.
All right, so
Well, then I will make a motion to award the contract for US 20 from County Road 35 to State Road 13 project to Selge as the lowest bidder.
Can I also amend that in the amount of, again, I hope I say this right, $8,453,871.92.
The 92.
I'll second, yes.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, request for payment to Peerless Midwest invoice number, or for pump number 2 overhaul and additional repairs.
So the original agreement was in the amount of $14,750 for the booster pump number 2. There were additional repairs needed, and so we're asking for consideration. The total increase is $2,680, increasing the total to $17,430. So if you have questions, we also have Steve here. It looks like additional repairs were the 6-inch swing valve, check valve, the 6-inch fabricated spool, 6-inch welding flanges, and 6-inch flange packs.
Were these repairs that just weren't seen
You can't
When-
see these until you open it
until you
up.
open them
This,
up?
this is
Okay.
just part of regular maintenance, right?
Maintenance,
Right, and
yeah.
I think the original letter said that there could be undiscovered
Yeah.
expenses once they tear it down.
Can't see it till you.
And there hasn't been a lot of maintenance
Yeah.
on these pumps. Like, we're just trying to do these over time.
Mhm.
But yeah, the booster pump is definitely needed.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the change order to the Peerless Midwest agreement for booster pump number 2. The addition of $2,680, bringing the total to $17,430.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Request to transition to BSNA payments.
This was tabled previously for legal review. So, turn it over to Jackson. If he's got any issues with it or.
BSNA contract.
Ah, yes. I believe we are good to go on that one.
All checks out.
I took a look at that one.
And then once it's approved by them, we'll start working on the cancellation of Invoice Cloud.
So based on Jackson's recommendation then that everything is technically honky-dory, I will make a motion that we make the switch to BSNA payments for the town.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Technical.
Thank you very much.
What is the expected transition on that? When does that start?
Well, it'll depend now on when we can get Invoice Cloud canceled. I was hoping that we would be able to do that as soon as we go live in October with BSNA. I'm not sure.
That's the goal.
I mean, I know that we renew this year automatically with Invoice Cloud, and I think it's on a 3-year term in October as well. I just am not sure on that timeline if we'll be able to fully cancel per the contract agreement, or if we'll have any repercussions from that by terminating it early or late or how, yeah.
Easily by the end of the year.
I would hope by the end of the year we'll be fine.
Okay.
Dan's Jackson on them. All right, thank you. JPR change order number 8 for a water treatment plant.
Yes. Good evening, guys. Not to continue to contribute to, I think you said change order fatigue,
Yes.
but to continue the discussion from the last council meeting a couple weeks ago. Change order 8, it involves additional chemical feed improvements so that the town has complete flexibility in operating that new addition to the water treatment plant, being able to run both tanks single, together, alternating between the two, and just give the town full flexibility for any upcoming maintenance or expansion that they need. I presented that change order, the draft change order for $103,000. I told you we weren't done debating and knocking that number down a little bit. So I was somewhat successful in reducing that price. If I have it right here. The plumber subcontractor loader's price from $35,000 to $8,300. And that lowered the overall change order down to $75,598.69 for all that work. It's still going to be completed within their allotted time, so no extension of time. They're still going to finish all this work by at the latest mid-October. They're hoping to get out by the end of September. So I also sent over, like I discussed, touched on a little bit earlier this month, the preliminary engineering report that, again, we put together with the town staff starting out in 2021, 2022, amended it in 23, and then revised it and amended it again in 24, which shows the long-term goal and planning for the water system as a whole, replacing water tower number 1, improvements to the treatment plant, and then eventually replacing water tower number 2. I don't know if any of you guys got to that, but
I couldn't open it.
yeah.
Mine
Really?
wouldn't open. It just shut me down every time I tried to open it.
It was too big of a file.
I don't know. It just didn't want to do
Okay.
it. It was being moody.
Okay.
Probably.
Mine open.
Mine did.
Yeah, he
Okay.
opened it. Maybe that has something to do with the updates.
Okay, well, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit, and I can leave this physical copy here too if you wanted to flip through it or share it amongst yourselves. But the overall project, just to get you guys up to speed over the last 6 to 8 to 10 years of planning, maybe even longer than that. But we put together a full asset management plan of the water system and really honed in on what projects need to be a priority for the next 10 to 20 years for the town. And based on the condition and the age of water tower number 1, water tower number 2, water treatment plant, we added some of those assets in there. But there were also smaller items that are equally as important that I mentioned last time. But site security, there was no there wasn't cameras and lights and proper security around the entire water treatment plant, around the water tower. So we added some of that in there. Upgrades to the chlorine system, which well underway, and the change orders associated with even more improvements. SCADA improvements, controls, as you know, these guys need to know down to the minute if there's any issues with power or pumps not turning on and off, any issues with that. And just a whole facet of improvements that need to be included and on the forefront of these operators' minds and you folks' minds from a planning perspective. So you can work with your legal, you can work with your financial advisor on how to pay for that and actually make that come to fruition. So I would, again, just implore you to walk through this and just see if you have any questions, any comments. I'll be glad to answer those. But yeah, for tonight, this change order number 8 is just gonna further that goal of improvements that we had slated for maybe down the line, but having all the contractors right there and having some contingency available on this project still, it just seems like a good time to move forward with those improvements. So it's all done for the time being for that chemical feed system.
Well, we appreciate the work on that $27,000 or $28,000 reduction. You know,
Thank you.
it lessens the fatigue a little. Sure.
I hope so.
appreciate
They've
it,
done a
Josh.
lot of work out there, but they've also been paid a lot for
Yeah.
the improvements.
they
So
have.
yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Where does this put us at in the percentage for the contingency on that?
Contingency, so in that packet that I sent over to you, there's a sheet that looks like this, cell
Mhm.
spreadsheet.
Mhm.
And it kind of shows where we are on just the contract B, the water treatment plant project contingency. And then it shows overall on the bottom, that bottom table, our contingency total was about 880,000. With this change order, it would take us to 491,000. So we'd still have about 35 to 40% remaining on
Okay.
our planned 10% contingency, which is the overall project. So we would
Okay.
have about $379,000 remaining just on the contingency side.
So what is left there at the plant that could possibly be an issue? I mean, I don't want to come up with a with a problem on the back end of this.
Sure. What they have left is they have to get the new tank online. They have to do this chemical feed, plumbing and electrical work, which is included with this change order. And then all they have left is the improvements that are associated with the existing tank, which is just making sure that everything's patched and repainted. Just some odds and ends stuff. I don't want to get ahead, but their pay application that they have, they're saying the balance to finish the project is a little over $400,000, which is less than 10% of their entire contract. So they only have, $400,000 left on their $4.5 million contract.
Okay.
So
So percentage of completion, 90%?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And like I said, they only have about a month and a half left on their timing
Mhm.
of their contract. So we're hoping there's nothing left, change order wise.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Right.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the JPR change order number 8 for water treatment plant improvements in the amount of $75,598.69.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Aye.
Josh.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Josh. Request for payment to JPR for invoice number 53453 for
You-
water system
You
improvements.
skipped the FCI pay app.
Oh, I did. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
A lot.
We can go back to that one.
FCI.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
So in your packet is pay application number 12 from FCI Construction in the amount of $144,994.83 for the water treatment plant improvements. And this is work done between June 27th through July 31st. And also, I think I don't know if it was in the packet, but they've been reviewing the certified payroll all along. So we need to have council approval of payment for this, so that way then Shaylee can submit it to the Indiana Finance Authority for SRF payment.
So I'll make a motion that we approve pay application number 12 from FCI Construction in the amount of $144,994.83 for water treatment plant improvements for work done June 27th, 2026 through July 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, I was trying to save money.
Doesn't work that way, Carl.
JPR invoice number 453 for water system improvements.
So this is a similar process as the previous invoice. JPR's invoice 53453 is in the amount of $30,763 for work done from July 1st to July 31st for the water treatment plant improvements. We're asking for council's consideration.
I'll make a motion that we approve the JPR invoice 53453 in the amount of $30,763 for work done July 1, 2026 to July 31, 2026 for the water system improvement project.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, request to accept and pay US 20 land easement parcel A.
Do you want to do all three of these together or separate?
Together,
Let's do
we're
'em.
fine, yeah.
Together.
It's fine
Yeah.
with me.
So parcel A easement is in the amount of $8,620. Parcel E is in the amount of $24,150. And parcel G is in the amount of $4,050. So we're asking for your consideration for us to be able to pay those. And this is for the sanitary sewer relocation along US 20 on the north side of US 20. And we will be able to submit once we get payment made to these people, and then we can send this in for reimbursement to the Indiana Department of Transportation, because there is just not room within their right-of-way to place a sanitary sewer at this particular location.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the payments for land easements, parcel A, E, and G as presented.
I'll
Sec- Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Ratification for music in the park check. Check.
Yes. Either one. We need to do a ratification for a check in the amount of $950 for the band that played on Friday. Obviously, they wanted payment at the time of the performance. So we cut a check to get that taken care of. But obviously, we just need to ratify it since it was cut prior to your approval.
I heard them up on my deck. It sounded pretty good.
They were pretty good.
I unfortunately wasn't there, but yes, I heard it was a very good show.
So I'll make a motion that we ratify the check for $950 written for the Music in the Park band.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agreement with MACOG for environmental site assessments at Riverbend.
So in your packet is an agreement for environmental site assessments. MACOG has grant funding that they're able to do site assessments, environmental site assessments. And we would like to do one at Riverbend Park. We've been told over the years that that was a dumping area for quite a while. And we just don't know the exact location. So this will help us with locating at least where we would like to possibly place a pavilion with restrooms. And part of it's owned by the town, part of it's owned by the park board, and or something like that, and then part of it's owned by a private individual. The private individual has signed off. I'm hopeful that the park board will sign off this week, and we're requesting the town council to consider that too.
So this will be encompassing the whole site?
Not the whole site,
No.
just the
area
area.
that we're looking to
okay.
potentially improve. So I walked the site with Tom and a group,
Mhm.
and representatives from IDEM, was it?
Yep.
A while back. And the idea is, and the MACOG has funds to do this, is to delineate where the original burn pit or dump was, to be able to section off and say, here's what you need to do in this section to be able to use it. So if they can do that and then, put all that out and say, here's what you need to do or not need to do, or this is, whatever.
Stay away from this part.
Yeah, right,
Whatever.
exactly. Or plant trees here or do other things that IDEM,
Right.
might require. And to do that then would extend the Riverbend Park and allow us to potentially put a pavilion with bathrooms and all kinds of other stuff, so.
And once we get through this step, like MACOG is paying for this. Once we get through this step, they also have connections with the different agencies that they might help us be able to like maybe get more grant money or something. I'm not sure.
You mean if
Um,
it does need cleaned up or something?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I think it's a good partnership.
When we walked it, the ladies that were there from IDEM were extremely positive. What can we do to help you do this? We'd like to see this land reclaimed. I mean, am I right, Tom? Yeah. So there wasn't a fight. They were like, this would be great if you could do this, so we'll help you what we can. So, yeah, I think it'll be a worthwhile thing.
I know you're looking specifically for one spot. Again, if that area is not conducive or not able to accept those improvements, could you make it just a little bit bigger, or could you have like a secondary site, or is that probably not part of this?
Part of what we're facing is the majority of that land is in the floodway.
Okay.
And so you only have a small area that's
we can-
not. It's right south of the cemetery on the south side of Warren. So, I mean, the floodway kind of dictates what you can and can't do.
So this is the only location that,
Well, especially with the restrooms, and
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the part.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that, to agree or to approve the agreement with MACOG for environmental site assessments at Riverbend Park.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Amendment number 3 to agreement with Lockmiller Group for intersection improvements.
So this amendment is in the amount of $1,193, and it would bring Lockmuller's total contract to $459,503. And this was there was 2 separate projects that were included in this. That's why the total is so high. So they were the ones that did the County Road 20 and County Road 20 improvements and State Road 13, that intersection. But they're also designing the intersection of County Road 22 or Orpha Drive and County Road 37. So they had some extra funds left over in different categories, so they shifted those around. By the time they got all of that done, then there was remaining $1,193. The additional work that they did was adding sewer to the project for us extending that sanitary sewer out along there. Performing additional project management services. I don't know what that stands for. The CSPGP. I'll have to look that up. Additional coordination meetings because we did have, is it stormwater plan? Okay. And then the bid phase for Orpha Drive. So there's just additional items that they would like to be compensated for.
And the 1,193 is funded from the Elroy TIF and the Elkhart County RDC.
Yeah, so
That-
if I could get you to make the motion and then we can sign the paperwork later pending the redevelopment commission meeting.
Mhm.
Because redevelopment will need to approve making payment from the TIF funds.
Okay.
But then I will make a motion that we approve amendment number 3 to the agreement with Lockmuller Group for the intersection improvements pending, for $1,193 pending the approval of the Middlebury RDC paying out of the Elroy TIF.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I've got ones here. Okay.
All right, small purchase authorization for a gantry lift for the cemetery.
So something that we've been needing to do in the cemetery for quite a while is take some care of some of the old headstones and monuments that have been out there since early 1800s, mid 1800s. We've never had anything to do it safely, so we've came across this gantry lift. There was some that we looked at that were out of state. The price was about double this. So local company here is going to fab it up, and we're just looking for your consideration and approval.
That was for 19,000?
The amount?
$13,737.64.
Sorry,
Yep,
Yeah,
you're on the next one.
I'm on the, I skipped one.
Just so everybody understands, it's to lift these up, fix everything underneath, be able to put them back down
So
safely.
It's got wheels.
Yeah,
So,
so
yes.
it can be
So
moved.
yeah,
it's
so we'll
portable.
Move it away
Yep.
and
Yep.
move it back. and-
Just want to make sure everybody kind of got a vision of what
Safely
this
do it
thing
without
is.
hillbilly construction and hoping
Yes.
it doesn't tip over.
Yeah, it basically
Correct.
rolls
Yep.
over the headstones,
Right,
lifts.
lifts
and-
them up,
Right.
work underneath, set it back down,
Yep.
get it all the way, yep.
It's a really neat design.
I'll make a motion that we approve the small purchase authorization for portable aluminum gantry lift for the cemetery in the amount of $13,737.64.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 You know how soon you'll be able to get that?
It's soon, hopefully.
Close.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Soon.
All right, now on to the next one. Small purchase for the for the storage shed for the cemetery.
So with the purchase of the gantry lift, that is an 8x10 footprint, so it's large. And then with everything going on at the cemetery right now, we need a little larger building to store the stuff. So we've got pricing from Pumpkin Patch here in town to, or here in Middlebury, to build a portable shed, or it's still considered portable, but it's gonna be built on site. We had to go with a taller sidewall package, so that's why they can't take it down the road.
How tall was the lift?
about a little over 9 foot.
Yeah,
So
so
we got a
it's
10 by
pretty
10
tall.
overhead door in the shed. So we're asking for your consideration for the shed.
And we're under the authorized amount,
Mhm.
right? So I'll make a motion that we approve the small purchase authorization for the 16 by 24 storage shed for the cemetery in the amount of $19,741.04.
And I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Niblock paving on the East Drive.
So before we get into that, I want to thank Robert for all of his work out here in the cemetery. There's been a lot of work being done, and the Veterans Wall is looking amazing. And so part of what we did last week was we cut out, I don't know if you've driven back in the cemetery lately, but there were several areas that there were some pretty good dips in the pavement. So Public Works cut those out, and then last week Niblock came in and patched those with base material. And we already have a contract with Niblock to pave the surface back there by the Veterans Wall. They widened that roadway, so they have base and surface for a total of $17,617. So we've already we've already approved that contract. So we thought, well, we've made those smoother at least. But we're asking for consideration by the town council to pave that north-south road on the east portion where we just did these patches. Niblock gave us a quote of $28,168, and Milestone gave us a quote of $52,015. So, and we can, there's funds in the community or cumulative,
CCD,
yeah,
cumulative capital
Well,
development.
yeah. I always say CCD, and
Then forgot what it stands for.
and it's designated for roadway or, like roadways, whether it's cemetery, wherever. It's not
Public
like
roadway.
the motor vehicle highway fund where those are restricted funds and they have to go towards roads within a right of way.
Mhm.
So we're asking for your consideration. I just think it would be the icing on the cake.
Well, it's necessary out there,
Yeah.
and with the community work that's being put into the Veterans Memorial Wall, we want that roadway going in there to be as good as it can be. And it needs to be done. Even with this expert patching, it needs to be done correctly. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve a contract with Niblock Excavating for $28,168 to do the north-south road on the east side of the cemetery.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
This would be a top coat, right? Over
Mhm.
what's there.
Yep.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What was the timeline on that? When did they think? Can they
I-
have it before
I
then?
think that they're planning possibly paving this week.
There was a chance.
Really?
We also have a burial later this week, kind of the same day they were thinking, so.
Oh.
We'll see.
It'd be fantastic. if it
Yeah.
all happened before.
That's the goal, is everything to be.
And I know most of this extra damage has come from the big trucks running back and forth. But it is gorgeous back there.
It is.
That is fabulous. All
We're
right.
in the countdown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're close.
Mhm.
A discussion on BOT model for bidding projects.
So, in talking with Ancon and different contractors, there's different ways. And typically what we would do if we would build a building or do an addition, we would do a design and then you would bid it and then you would build it. And then there's also a way of design build. And so that is kind of like what the fire department did with hiring, having a team of individuals that chose like the design build. They chose what design that they liked, and then that contractor got to build. So they actually have their architect on staff. But then there is what's called build, operate, and transfer. And so this is just kind of like another tool in the toolbox of a way to be able to either build a building, and I don't know when that might happen, but we were talking to them about possibly the expansion or doing something at the Public Works Department. And they suggested this, and it can like fast track your timeline. A lot of time, well, it does. It cancels out your change orders because everything is completely up front. They're working with you one-on-one. There's just a lot of positives for this way. And even if you do something like this, and say that you do a resolution allowing this type of way to be able to bid these are more towards building projects. It's just another tool in the toolbox if that's how you want to go about doing that. And they said, Ancon said that they would, come to a meeting if it's something that you would even entertain and if you had questions. Bristol is doing that on their public works building right now. That's the process that they used. and they seem to be pretty happy with the way it's going. So anyway, it's just, I'm bringing something forward. There's no need to make any motions or anything.
It would be interesting, I'm sorry, after reading through it, to have, somebody that, is this ANCON that is bringing it forward, the BOT?
They were discussing it with us, and I just said, you know what, let me give them information and put it in front of them.
Mhm.
I said, I don't know if,
It would be good if they're, I hate to use the term experts, but if they're experts or know it well, I think it'd be worthwhile to hear from them directly. And after we've absorbed a little bit of this, maybe we can throw some questions at them and get them to and understand it a little better. Because there were a few things that jumped out at me, like I'm sure I'm not reading it right, or I want to make sure I'm reading it right.
right.
In the public sector tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
Private sector, excuse me, private partner tie-in. So it would just be good to be able to ask some of those questions. I think it'd be a worthwhile visit
Yeah.
because it looked interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
More streamlined.
Yeah.
Much more
Yes.
streamlined.
But understanding,
Bring any extra risk into it, or?
well, supposedly it moves. And that's a couple of questions that I have. And I have some questions about if the risk is transferred to the private partner, how does that take place?
Right.
What's the long-term asset what capture? Part of it includes maintenance. What does that include? Like it just, just some clarification so we understand it better. I think it would be worthwhile. It would for me.
I agree.
I concur.
They do it more in central Indiana right now. I think Bristol, maybe Wakarusa has done it too, but it's not as prevalent up here as it is in more central Indiana. So
Yeah, I think it'd be well worth hearing about,
mhm.
and it looks interesting.
I'll see if I can get somebody at one of the next upcoming meetings.
Perfect.
Be nice.
I did have a couple extra items on the agenda.
All right.
Shocking.
Sorry.
We still have letters left in the alphabet.
How many?
Well,
We have some.
and we can like tease Jesse because Jesse like makes it as small a print because I say I want the agenda on one page. So she makes it as small as she can.
Yeah,
doesn't
she
help
said
you.
Friday before she sent it out, nobody was allowed to add to it, so Mary's just gonna add to it on Monday night.
Anyway, just wait on Monday.
No, actually, there was one thing that was supposed to be in there that did not make it in there, so I apologize. But this one, the Fall Festival, I just got this today. And so the Fall Festival is requesting permission from Town Council to use the Middlebury Parks from Tuesday, September 8th through Saturday, September 12th. And they're planning on having on Saturday, their 5K run. I know that they've been in communication with the police department on that. And then they're asking for closures of Brown Street, Bristol Avenue, and State Street, beginning on Thursday, September 10th in the morning to allow for vendor setup. And they typically work with Public Works in getting all that information, or, the barricades and all that kind of stuff. East Park will have Kid Zone, looks like. And then there'll be a fireworks display held on Friday evening at dusk at approximately 9 to 9:30 out at the Essen House. So they're asking for your consideration to allow them to use the parks.
And they do have the memorial wall dedication as an event item, I believe, on their agenda as well. So,
Because for those of our listening online, the dedication is September 11th at 6 p.m. Please come out and support. It's going to be awesome. So I will make a motion that we approve the Middlebury Fall Festival Committee's requests to close the streets listed at the times listed with the approval of the marshal. That's affirmative.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the next item that I have is an emergency response plan and cyber incident response plan. These are two separate plans that are required to be submitted by the end of the year. And there's a lot of work that goes into them. you can do them, like halfway if you want to, and then say you're continuing to work on them. I would prefer to like do it all the way and have our SOPs in place so that way we know what we're doing if we have an incident. And I printed Jeff Weaver with Avonmarsh is here. I printed out the wrong. I didn't have. Anyway, it was not included in the packet. So it was $47,000. It mainly impacts the water. But if we ever have some type of cybersecurity attack, we need to know what's going on and what we need to do. They can hold them everything ransom, until we would do what they told us they wanted us to do. There's been, I don't know how many communities, and he can probably tell you all this, that's been hit. Here in Indiana, there's been several here with, everything that's going on in the world right now. They're attacking water systems. And then just what's been going on in central Indiana with all of the floods and different things, water systems are getting hit hard. And so we really need to have some type of emergency response and being able to pull on our neighbors. They did have an overall one quite a while ago with Elkhart County. It just seems to have kind of fallen apart. It's not as strong as it used to be. I think we need to pull more of our water operators together a little bit more often. But anyway, everybody knew what equipment everybody had and different things like that. And so this would be inventorying everything that we have, knowing what we need to do if a disaster hits. So anything else? You can come up.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff Weaver with Avonmarsh. And just to kind of reiterate what Mary was saying, this emergency response plan is required by the state every 5 years, and they've got a partial one. It wasn't fully vetted. We need to update a lot, and the intent of this is to make this so this is a living, breathing document that's looked at every month. In a previous or the current contract we have with you, we developed a technology steering committee and a cybersecurity team, and they meet every month with your IT and all the other people involved, and they talk about this. This would be put onto that agenda. The maintenance of this program would be put on to the agenda, and that way, every 5 years, this would just be a plan you hand. It would be something that you maintain. Also, it is due December 31st of this year, both reports, and then every subsequent year, the cybersecurity report will be due, and then every 5 years, the emergency response plan would be due.
Since we knew it was coming up in 5 years, was this in the budget for this year in 2026? No? Okay.
Water. Water doesn't have a specific budget. We have lines that we pull from and we keep track of stuff. Is there money there? Yes.
Yeah.
To be able to do this. So all these different requirements and different things are coming at us hard.
Is it a one-time 47,000 or is that a yearly?
That would be a one-time, and then we would be able to keep it up to date. We would not need to have a consultant help us with keeping it up to date, because there would even be an SOP on how to keep it up to date.
Okay. All right.
So-
So this is setting it up
Right.
for perpetual maintenance of the response plan.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to take a lot of time to pull this all together, and I don't have it.
Mhm.
None of us really have it.
Is this something that Jackson needs to review?
I will get him
You
the,
did?
Yeah, I
Okay.
sent an addendum.
see, I don't know where, I had it printed out. It didn't make it from my desk to Jesse's desk.
I just
So I
forwarded it, so
apologize.
it's at the top of your email if you want to
Okay,
print it out.
thank you.
So if we could, is it okay to do it at the next council meeting? So get
Well,
the agreement or no?
That's 3 weeks gone.
Oh, gotcha. And it's December 31st.
So if,
Okay.
Puts us into September. Right.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I get it.
I mean, we can call another meeting.
No, I get it. No, let's don't do
Um,
that.
I guess I'd like to hear from Jackson if,
Was there-
without us seeing anything, spending $47,000. I'm not sure I feel comfortable voting
What do you need from me about it?
again, I've not received anything regarding this, so.
Yeah, Jackson, it wasn't in the packet. That's my
I
fault.
see, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't get any of that.
So to blindly approve $47,000, I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
Mhm. And we can call a meeting next week. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, as long as everybody can make it,
Mm-hmm. Or a quorum.
I'm not leaving town.
or quorum, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm around.
I apologize, that's my fault.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'd like to look at it. I mean, it seems prudent.
I think that would be best.
So, my bad.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
And Robert just reminded me, I have one more.
Oh, Robert.
Can I get a motion to
I'll
table?
do-
Oh, probably need a motion to table first.
I'll make a motion that we table the emergency response and cybersecurity
Agreement.
in the amount of, agreement in the amount of $47,000.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last item, I think. We
Robert,
are
stay seated.
requesting permission to hire Dustin Dilks
Oh, yes.
for Public Works Department.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think he would start, would it be after Labor Day?
He was gonna let us know. He was thinking 2 to 3 weeks, so he was gonna let us know.
Okay.
So. Mhm.
And that's an open spot, is that correct?
Yep.
Correct.
I'll make a motion that we approve the hiring of Dustin Dilk for Public Works Labor 3
Second.
as presented.
He did.
Okay.
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike, yeah.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 And we'll have a salary amendment at the next council meeting for that.
All right.
Thank you.
Great Dylan, Dustin.
Department reports. Steve, you have anything to add for us for the water department?
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Robert?
Nope, I talked enough.
Thank you, sir.
May I just say I appreciate how clean and the area out there for yard waste, and it's nice and flat. There's no dips and everything. So those of us that take clippings and yard waste out there, again, thank you guys so much. I believe it's also the subcontractor that is helping with that. But
They're the ones who make it worse, so.
They're the ones that make it work. They dig all the holes.
They dig
Yeah.
it, yeah. they
but
dig it
again,
up.
I appreciate
They make
again
it
as a town
worse.
resident. It's so easy now and so great to get in and out of there. So again, thank your crew to.
As soon as they come in this month and remove that pile, it's there now, then we can work on that north half
Sure.
and kind of blend it all in, so make it look even better, but yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Derek, anything from wastewater?
Nope, nothing new to report.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Tom, anything from parks?
Just something real quick. It's in the report, but just, Riverfest is coming up, August 29th, 16th year, it's coming out.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tom.
What's the times?
11 to 2, or 3, 11 to 3, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Marshall Baker, anything to add? All right, announcements. Middlebury Park Board meeting will be August 19th at 10 a.m. here at the Town Hall. Elkhart County Board of Zoning hearing, officer, August 19th at 9 a.m. at the Public Services Building. Elkhart County Board of Zoning Appeals, August 20th at 9 a.m. at the Public Services Building. Middlebury Redevelopment Commission meeting, August 27th at 7 a.m. here at the Town Hall. Elkhart County Regional Sewer District meeting, September 2nd at 5 p.m. at the Public Services Building. Elkhart County Redevelopment Commission meeting September 3rd at 2 p.m. at the Public Services Building. Middlebury Tree Board meeting September 3rd at 7 p.m. here at the Town Hall. The town offices will be closed September 7th in observance of Labor Day. Next town council meeting will be September 8th, which is a Tuesday, because of Labor Day, at 6 p.m. here at the Town Hall. And we are adjourned.